Welcome back to another video on the AA Football Zone and to a midweek preview, previewing the Premier League games coming up this week. But starting off before that with a review of the Carabao Cup and what we saw in that competition. And yeah, two probably shock results maybe. Arsenal 0, Newcastle 2 was the score at the Emirates. A perfect away performance for Newcastle. Were clinical, kept their chances, and now have got a great chance of progressing to the final. But for Arteta, it looks like an agonising wait for a trophy could go on. But yeah, what a performance from Newcastle. And Tottenham, a 1-0 win against Liverpool. They really turned it on in the Carabao Cup. And yeah, fair play to them. This is a great performance, stuck in there and got it. And it's going to be tough to hold on to Anfield. But I'd love a Newcastle v Tottenham final just for the determination on behalf of all teams to win it. But moving on into the preview of this week's Premier League game, starting off with Brentford against Man City. And yeah, this is a very interesting game. Brentford obviously off the back of that 5-0 win against Southampton, but then a loss to Plymouth. Kind of shows up their inconsistency. But if there's one thing we know about Man City at the moment, it's that they also can be very inconsistent too. So yeah, it could be an interesting one as to the way in which way Swan goes. Obviously you say Man City have the best players at the moment, but yeah, it's impossible to know which City will show up really, but I think they'll have just enough to sneak by Brentford. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on then to West Ham against Fulham at the London Stadium, and yeah, this is going to be an interesting one. The London derby. Graham Potter, I believe his first Premier League game in charge of West Ham, so it's going to be a very interesting one. Interesting appointment. Potter, I think, could work. Obviously had time out of management to kind of refine his style, and hopefully for him he can get back to it. But against the Fulham side, who have been in good form recently, it's going to be a tough game for him, no doubt. But I think at home he'll definitely feel optimistic of hitting the ground running with a win. Moving on then to Chelsea against Bournemouth at Stamford Bridge. And yeah, this is another interesting game. Chelsea coming into this one, off the back of a Christmas wobble, I would say, a bit, and they need to come out of the back of that now and really get going, because teams like Man City will come up and be chasing that Champions League place that they currently occupy. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, this one, against the Bournemouth side who are in good forms and stuff, so it's not going to be an easy one for them at all. I'm going to say Chelsea, though, at home will have enough to win. Moving on then to Nottingham Forest against Liverpool at the City Ground. And yeah, this is another interesting one. Nottingham Forest, what a great run they're on. And the Liverpool side, who have been playing so well this season, is going to be a very interesting one, and one that you feel could go either way, really. Forest, in a great run of form. You can see it's going to be a big occasion for the crowd, and just imagine if they win, they could even have a sniff at a title shot, which should be utterly incredible. I think it could be a draw, though. I don't think Liverpool will quite have enough to win. I think Forest will hold them. Moving on into Everton against Aston Villa at Goodison Park, and obviously this is going to be a great atmosphere. David Moyes' first game back at Everton, and yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this one, against the Villa side. We know they're a good side on their day, but Everton, I think obviously the crowd will be right behind them. A legendary manager from their past coming back. So yeah, it's going to be a very, very interesting game, this one, and one that I really feel could go either way. I'm going to call it down the middle and say it will be a draw. Moving on then to Leicester against Crystal Palace at the King Power. And yeah, this is another interesting game, because Leicester, of course, a team that is very much in a poor run of form at the moment. Against Palace side that's been improving. I think Leicester will really be viewing this as a game which they can get the win here, and that would be a big result to kind of help them move out of the relegation trouble. But at the moment, I think Palace are strong. Leicester, it's just not clicking. I'm going to say 2-1. Moving on then to Newcastle against Wolves at St James's Park. And yeah, this is another interesting game. Newcastle coming into this one on a very good run of form themselves. Wolves had a decent start under Vitor Pereira, but since then it's kind of dropped off a bit and they're struggling a bit more now. So yeah, it's going to be an interesting game, this one, but one that I feel Newcastle should be able to come away with a win pretty comfortably and continue their good run of form. I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on then to Arsenal against Tottenham, North London derby, and yeah, there's very much a contrast of two teams at the moment, isn't it? An Arsenal side who are bang in form, really going for the league title, against the Tottenham side who, very much struggling, aren't they, down the bottom of the league, and they need a result at some point soon, really, just to stop the issues, stop the momentum, and get back on track. Because at the moment in the league it's not looking good, despite their cup exploits. But yeah, you'd expect an Arsenal win here. Moving on then to Ipswich against Brighton at Portman Road, and yeah, Ipswich coming into this one on the back of a very, of course, good win in the Cup, and they'll be looking to use that to build momentum into the Premier League, which is something that they need to do against the Brighton side, who, they're not in brilliant form at the moment, but I think they're doing just about enough, and they'll be feeling relatively confident coming into this one. I'm going to say, though, Brighton will have too much quality, and I'm going to say 2-0. Moving on into Manchester United against Southampton at Old Trafford, and this is very much a game of the battle between the strugglers. Manchester United, obviously got that great win against Arsenal in the FA Cup, and you feel like that could kind of be the turning point for them, and hopefully keep it going, especially after a decent result at Liverpool as well. But they need to be delivering on a more consistent basis against a really poor Southampton side. I feel this will be a good opportunity to do this, and you'd like to think it would be a comfortable win for United, so I'm going to say they will get that. Anyway guys, that's it for this video. Thanks very much for watching. Remember to like, share, subscribe, follow us on our socials, link in the description below for daily football news, meme and content. Subscribe to our other channels on screen right now, that'd be greatly appreciated. Thanks very much for watching. Peace out.